Hi, everybody. I'm Chicago Psychic Mel Doerr, and I got Linda Grindel in the house.
Hi, everybody.
Now, we were supposed to do a show on Monday, but I had to meet with oncologists and had to have CAT scans and a pathologist. And then my surgery was going to be on tomorrow.
Oh, did you do pre-ops too? The
Oh,
blood
yeah.
work and stuff?
I had to go to my doctor on Friday and get all the blood work and the pre-authorization and all that stuff. And my cardiologist, talked with the hospital. So um
And
Monday,
then they said you weren't on the schedule.
correct. They called me today and said I wasn't on the surgery schedule. I said, that's impossible. And the surgical nurse said July the 17th. I go, no. This is non-negotiable. I am not waiting until July the 17th. Can I please speak to the doctor, to the surgeon? I said, because I don't want this to have time to go into lymph nodes. And so she said, well, I'll call you back. And she called me back and she said, oh no, doctor doesn't want you to wait till the 17th at all. She will come in on Friday. So I don't think it's the doctor's fault. I think somebody there screwed up is what I think. But here we are. So one day is not going to make that much of a difference.
Yeah.
Other than in my attitude.
Yeah.
Well, you heard the conversation, so.
Yeah, I finally had to leave because you were giving out a lot of personal information
I didn't care.
on Zoom.
I didn't care. I wasn't trying to be rude to her, but you have to advocate for yourself.
Oh, I know. You don't have to tell me twice.
Anyway, so how are you doing?
Fine. I had huge fireworks go off at the school across the street. I'm talking straight up in the air, lit the whole neighborhood. Boom, boom, boom. Poor Jack. Lulu didn't act like she cared. But Jack was shook up, and I finally, after 10 o'clock, when they were still going, I went out there with my big police flashlight, beaming, and I said, enough. And then they did a couple of more. I tried to call the police, but the line wouldn't engage, so they were probably getting overwhelmed. Later, I thought, because there's a little fire before the thing goes off, I should have called the fire department.
Yeah,
you could hear it was kids. You could hear them talking. It was a bunch of punk-ass kids.
We took lucky by our friend Debbie and Stuart because went to my cousins up north, and there's a lot of fireworks around here where we live. And she freaks out. So I figured if she was with them, I didn't want her to be by herself.
No.
It was the night before she hid under the coffee table all night. Because me up, it sounded like there was cannons in the backyard. Boom.
It was so loud and so bright, the whole neighborhood lit up. But I was an ER nurse in a hospital in Oakland. I've seen what happens when fireworks go, people lose appendages. So, and the other thing is, one of those fireworks misfires. It could have gone right into my house, right across the street.
Or if it misfired not high enough, those fiery things coming down could have gone on the roof and caused a fire.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm writing. I have some videos to do today, but I'm going to write the mayor and to the chief of police and to that school, because I don't know what to do as far as next July 4th. I've been here 7 years and this is the first time that happened. Next July 4th, do we hire people like security to just stand there and make sure nobody goes onto it's a private property. It's not a public school.
Oh, I'd have security out there so fast your head would swim.
Yeah, so I probably could. I'd be willing to pay for it just so my dog doesn't suffer.
Sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, but I didn't sleep the night before, and then last night. I'm better today though than I was yesterday.
By the way, you look great in red.
Oh, thank you. Everybody likes this. This is my new red shirt because I heard people say I love red on you.
I wore a red shirt yesterday for red, white, and blue.
Yeah. What did you fix to eat?
Well, my cousin, we went by his house and he had, hot dogs, ribs, but they always like my baked beans. So I made baked beans.
Okay.
I got to doctor them up. It's an easy recipe.
Okay. All right. So what questions you got?
All righty. So she, I laugh because that means to tinkle in Hawaii. says, this is a good one. Why was there such a large crowd for Trump in South Carolina? They've been so small and now bam.
Well,
Well,
remember, he pays for a lot of people too.
that's exactly what I was going to say. What my guides told me. They got payola, that's why. And
Well, no, there's a lot of people that like him. I'm not saying that's not, but that's South Carolina. Did you see how they booed Lindsey Graham? Oh, he got booed bad.
and that's exactly what's going to happen to Trump one of these days.
Yeah.
I think the people standing behind him that hold those signs, I think they get paid. I'm sure
they do get paid.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
You know what, I wouldn't worry about it so much.
Did you see the crowd that came out for the festivities for Biden at the 4th of July?
No,
It was packed.
Well, good. That's a good thing.
Way more people than South Carolina.
Andre Musat, I think, says, "Hi, I'm from Romania." I have to say something. When we were in Romania in 2019, I fell in love with Romania. The Carpathian Mountains are beautiful. It's a beautiful country, and the people were wonderful. So thumbs up to Romania. I'm from Romania. I'm concerned about the nuclear power plant in Ukraine. What do you see about the situation there? Do you think this will actually be the start of a world war? From the reports, the area must be evacuated by July the 5th, which is today. I don't see a world war. And if Putin blows that up and blames it on the Ukrainians, which he might.
Trying to right now. He's trying to say they're already talking about blowing it up and blaming it on Russia.
Correct. Well, that's what my guides show me. If it blows up, that it'll be Putin behind it and try to blame it on the Ukrainians. But if he does that, I live in Chicago, and we got this cloud of haze from the wildfires in Canada, which is a long way away. And if Putin blows that up, it's going to put radioactivity into the atmosphere, and that could affect all of Europe. So I think he's going to think twice before he starts any kind of a nuclear meltdown or any kind of.
I don't see a nuclear meltdown.
I don't either.
I think somebody's trying to talk. He's making sure he can stay alive right now.
That's exactly what I see too.
Hiding, and I see government intel, might even be the United States, special ops going in, disarming a lot of that stuff that's in there. There's somebody that knows what to do, and they're going in there. This will be written about later, by the way. This is a huge event. And I see people in black being dropped in there and going through and literally saving. Because if Putin could do it, he would, but I'm seeing him unable. It's like he does this and something grabs his hand.
Well, clouds of nuclear waste going all over Europe wouldn't be fun. And if he does
then for sure, he's a goner.
Right. So I don't see the Third World War. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
What did Einstein say? He said, I don't know. How did he say it? I don't know what they'll use to fight the Third World War, but if there's a fourth, it'll be with sticks and stones.
Yeah.
So I think, I keep seeing a lot of people in Russia, like that one guy resurfacing that went against Putin. And I keep seeing people marching in the streets against Putin. So there's going to be quite a resistance going on.
Right.
You can't put everybody in jail. You can't.
Yeah.
And the same thing is going to happen in Belarus, my guides show me. So I pick up like what you did, Linda, like Putin is, if was thinking about blowing it up, he could blame it on the Ukrainians.
I see he's already announcing it.
Oh,
he's
I didn't know.
Everybody, the Ukrainians are talking about blowing up that dam and then blaming us.
Well, they'll have proof that the things that have been blown
just
up,
like those bull crap explosions, that one on that tower. You see people walking up the ladder, and Putin let out the video and said Ukraine with what do you call those things that fly in the air? Just try to take out the whatever.
The tower.
But it was obvious it was Russia.
Well, there will be people coming forward saying that Putin was behind blowing up a lot of stuff and blaming Ukraine. So
also, Putin was behind a lot of people falling out of windows.
Yeah, first floor windows.
Yeah.
Oh, they fell out a window. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
All right. So Romania, just breathe easily, okay? All right. See Mindful says, hi, Mel, prayers and wishes for your fast healing. Thank you. My question is, if Donald is out of the picture, who do you see being the GOP nominee? Well, I can tell you who it won't be. It won't be to Satan in
It
Florida.
won't be to Satan.
And
It feels like someone more in between. I don't think it's Christie either.
no, it's not Pence.
Oh, God, no, it's not Pence. Hutchinson or somebody like that? Is Hutchinson sort of a lean, tall guy with gray hair?
I don't know.
Anyway, that's what I see.
Seeing a lean, tall guy with gray hair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, I'll take that.
And I see Biden going right through it. Did you hear about that cocaine being found in the library?
Yeah, it was placed there, I'm sure.
I felt like it was, but they need to take fingerprints from it. But I feel like it's a nothing burger.
My guides tell me it was placed there.
And it's not, yeah, because they did it in the library, something more accessible to others.
Right.
But my guide said it's not Biden.
No.
And
Don't say.
not unlike Mr. 45 who snorts, what's that stuff called? Adderall?
Oh, geez.
Big time.
Wow. It was just like that whole, website thing, that person in Colorado supposedly wanted to do a website and didn't want to do it for gay people or gay whatever.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court. I told my husband, I said, that is a bunch of BS. That whole thing is contrived to get it to the Supreme Court so they can try to overturn, discrimination against LGBTQ. And so that's exactly what happened. It came out that it really didn't happen. It was just a what if.
Yeah.
I knew it was contrived by the Republicans or by the MAGAs, I should say.
They will lie about everything.
They do.
Later, I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm doing my own personal video. I had a download from John Adams last night.
Oh.
As well as Thomas Jefferson and as well as George Washington. But John Adams was very engaging. He's been already taken several bodies. But one thing he said to me, all the stuff that we're going through now, is almost exactly what they went through when they made this democracy. But there was really passionate energy forms that wanted this democracy to make it. And he said, we will make it again. But all this corruption and stuff will be taken out.
Yay. That's kind of what Ruth Bader Ginsburg showed being about the light and the dark. And so,
right.
Well, good. So he gave us a sneak preview. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Emmy J says, hi, Mel and Linda. Love you both. What's the deal with the Secret Service? Maybe, we just answered that. Cocaine in the West Wing, another set up by Republicans. I'm sorry, we answered that already.
Yeah.
Okay, Gina. Hi, Mel and Linda. What do you guys say about
What
do you guys say about souls choosing to incarnate with special needs like autism and intellectual, mental, or physical disabilities? She wants to know if they make soul contracts for that. I'm an autism mom and always wondered about our connection. I don't know if it's a soul contract. I don't know if anybody would come contract and to have, intellectual.
Yeah, there's babies, there's soul energies that come in as a cyclops, no brain with one eye in the middle of their head.
I tend to think that they are angels showing up to be accepting.
They're not angelic forms. Usually they've done things on this earth that they slowly but surely come in and go through different. It's hard to explain. Ruth Montgomery explained it more detailed.
If I were younger,
they come in to learn to feel love and know love, but they keep taking bodies because they don't live very long, or they have some sort of mental illness.
You know, if I were younger, I would adopt a child with special needs. Um, I used to set up day programs when I was in college for people with special needs where they could come and work and things like that. That's how I
Right.
became a Kentucky Colonel. So, you know, they're kind of near and dear to my heart. So anyway. Okay. Paul Rhines says, thoughts and prayers, Mel. Thank you. I've read there are container ships crossing the ocean, dumping tons of waste and trash way out on the ocean. That is true. They do.
That is true, yes.
If so, will they be held accountable and the people that hired them? My guides are telling me yes, and I see international legislation passed to prevent them from doing that.
It'll take a year or two, but it'll happen. I actually see them getting photos of it, so maybe some sort of photos from space, but I see them getting photos of it.
And a lot of international lawsuits I see coming,
Right.
especially environmentalists, to say, no, you can't do this. I mean, our oceans are becoming polluted, and it's really frightening.
Right.
But what was that? Remember that commercial? You can't, it's not nice to mess with Mother Nature, or you can't fool Mother Nature. Well, that's what's going on. Mother Nature's saying, don't get too cocky.
And this past week, I think, has the hottest it's ever been on Earth.
Yep. What does that tell you?
We broke records.
Well, it's going to continue until they do something about this climate change, which at some point I feel they will, before the scales are tipped too far, before it comes an Armageddon, to use your words.
Well, it's already tipped a little too far. There's already things in place, but what happens is the Earth doesn't react in anger, it adjusts. So if it has to take out slews of people, it will, but it's adjusting. So we're going to get a lot of Switzerland yesterday. Was it Switzerland? Had 90-mile-an-hour winds,
Which is unheard of.
which blew off roofs and tipped cars down the freeway. Unheard of. It's heading towards Germany now. But this is the stuff that should be on the front page of every, or when you open up a news show, first thing they should talk about.
This is the thing all citizens of the world should be talking about.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, like I said earlier, we got this haze, and people, they were saying stay inside because it was like smoking a half pack of cigarettes to go outside. It was wildfires in Canada. It was like smoke.
I know. I lived it. I lived here with the Armageddon fires, and it went all the way into San Francisco.
But this came from Canada.
I know.
It just goes to show how far something can travel. And
Yeah.
so
It was satellite. You could see the smoke from Canada. You can see the smoke that happened in Northern California, and that lingered all the way over to the states next to us.
Well, I think that, you know, the world citizens are going to start crying out saying, we demand something being done against to help this runaway climate change. So, all right. Soulshine says, with all the nonsense going on with these wannabe fascist governors for entertainment purposes only, like Sarah Huckabee, Abbott, and DeSatan, will there be more guardrails put in place for states to make it easier to recall their governors? Is
Not right now, but let me tell you, the Satan is minus. He's minus 19% or something. He is so hated in Florida right now, and again, they are really having trouble getting immigrants to work there.
Well, who'd want to?
Yeah, so he's causing such chaos, and everybody's paying for him to travel and go. Oh, my favorite though, did you see it? I gotta find it. I think I had it on Twitter. Was when some gal sort of told him off at an event. You could hear her saying, you know, you're really a piece of work or something. She didn't yell or cry, but she didn't swear. And he said, really? He said, how many people here are here because you're going to vote for me as president? And one person raised their hand. And he said, one person. He said, well, this is uncomfortable.
I'd say goodbye.
Bye, bitch.
See you in the middle of next week.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
You know, I don't know about recalling governors, but I think there's going to be at some point an end to the gerrymandering.
Yes.
See,
Well, thanks to the Supreme Court, they actually voted in favor of these lines, this bull lines that they were doing to stop the Black people from voting.
well, at some point, I see affirmative action being upheld again by the court once we get new justices.
Did you see that Kentucky had nearly 3,000 voting places? They cut it down to 200. Deliberately.
Which is unusual because Kentucky has a Democratic governor.
But you'll see. You'll see. Things are going to start taking
Well,
place.
what
Where the vote is so loud, they can't do anything. They'll actually be hit down time and time. Listen, our governor got up for recall. It cost thousands and thousands of dollars several times, and everybody lost when he won every time.
Well, a recall can be a double-edged sword, I mean, it can bite you both ways. So they had to be careful with recalls.
Like they were trying to punish Clinton.
Correct.
And his numbers tripled.
That's what they were doing to the governor in California, trying to punish him, and it blew up in their faces.
Yeah, that's why people are worried about, because they're after Trump. Is that going to cause him to be more popular? Well, yeah, within his peoples. But there's more of us than there are of them.
Well, I think I do see more safeguards put in place. Like if somebody, they can't be, like pretending to be a Democrat, and then once they get in, they change, or pretending to be a Republican, and once they get into change, they change. Recalling governors, I don't know about, but I do see laws passed futuristically in most states that will protect voters' rights instead of trying to limit voters' rights as they're doing.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's happening now.
Right.
And with new presidents, after Biden's done, they're going to have psychological exams. They're going to make you show you're going to have to pass a background check. Unlike before, any Joe Blow and their neighbor could be president. They're going to make sure you have somebody in there that can handle the nukes.
And they're going to do that too, I think, for people who are running for the House and the Senate, because they don't want people in there like George Santos. But if they had been an independent or a Democrat in the House that
they would have
stood, they would have been crucified. They would have been gone already.
Yeah, and the other thing is the Trump on his Truth Social is showing pictures of himself like in a George Washington suit, looking slender, and signing something at a desk, and everybody's an adoration. I said, isn't that funny? This man Mr. Bone Spurs, never said George Washington was an actual soldier. He never was. And he's the one that talked about the airports during the war.
My guides just told me
there was no airplanes.
My guides just told me George Washington is swallowing his wooden teeth with Trump and stuff like George Washington.
Oh, he suffered so bad with those wooden teeth.
I needed a good laugh today. That did it for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Julia says, loved my two favorites on YouTube. And she said, just lighting a candle and saying prayers. Okay, so she brings up Lindsey Graham. Just wondering if you think the rumors are true Lindsey Graham is gay, and if he could be honest, he'd be more liked, or is that what Trump has over him, which is why he continues to bend the knee. Thanks, love you too for showing up each week. I don't care if Lindsey Graham is gay or not.
Me neither.
I don't care what he does behind closed doors. Just don't bash other people for doing it, and don't be a hypocrite about it.
Also, what happened was, by his being in the closet, and let me tell you, there's plenty of chatter out there, and it's for entertainment purposes only, is that he enjoys younger men. That so somebody can hold something against him. That's what, if you think about it, that's what Trump has on him. I'm sure Russia got all the information. So
I'm sure. I heard my psychic light bulb went yes with that. Totally.
Okay. So, he was a good statesman, and he could be very loyal. And then when Trump got a hold of him, Trump ruined his political career, by the way.
Well, that's Lindsey Graham's fault for allowing it.
I don't see Lindsey Graham in the residence after his death in the in the Capitol. I just feel he'll be a has-been. It's very sad. He's really drinking a lot too. He's looking really bad.
What I see coming is his hypocrisy will be shown. As I said, I don't care what his sexuality is. I really don't. I don't care what anybody's sexuality is.
Right.
Behind closed doors is up to them. But don't belittle others or be anti-LGBTQ when you might have some sugar in your own gas tank.
Well, yeah, but don't you think it's interesting that the ones that are the ones that are so dead set against? Did you hear about that ex-girlfriend of Don Jr.?
No, I didn't hear.
He's coming out with a tell-all. And she said when they were dating, they met at a gay bar. And they had sex in a gay bar. But she said what was interesting, a lot of his friends said, all the time they knew him, they never saw him with a woman. This Kimberly's and his wife were like the first ones. You know, he probably couldn't do it because his father would have just mangled him.
You know, here again, I don't care about somebody's sexuality.
Right.
I do care about the hypocrisy. And what I see is the truth coming out about Don Jr., the truth coming out about Lindsey Graham, and it's the hypocrisy that bothers me.
That poor guy. It's almost pathetic. You'll see these videos and he's just, somebody on Twitter said him and that Kimberly broke up.
I don't know, but
I don't care, but
I mean, you know, to each their own, but
I saw them breaking up when they first got together. I think I talked about that on my show.
You did.
I remember. Yeah. You remember me saying that, yeah, they're not going to last.
I do. Lisa Foster just says, hi, Lisa, my buddy from right near Fairdale. She says, praying for you, sending you love and light. Yeah, she's a good supporter of ours, Linda. She's
wonderful.
She's amazing. So Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. Give those cats a big hug. And the dogs.
My sister showed up when we were visiting my dad one day and she had scratch marks all down her chest. My sister's a cat person. And she walked in and me and my dad were like, what happened? I mean, these deep, she goes, Kitty didn't want a hug.
I was with one of those hot menses.
You know, that's the one thing about Dad, but you met her. She's real good with the one-liners. That's how my dad was. I'm kind of cray-cray in my humor. My mom, my dad, and the rest of the family, they would kind of do those one-liners where you actually stop for a second and think, oh my God.
Yeah, Linda, you and I have kind of the same sense of humor.
Yeah. Gross, under the table. Disgusting.
Okay. Knees, N-E-E-Z-Z. Hello, Auntie Mel and Linda G. Question. Robert Kelly, Trump's former White House chief of staff, said Trump made inappropriate sexual comments about Ivanka to White House aides. Michael Moore in his 2016 document alluded that Trump had inappropriate relationship with Ivanka as a child. Is there any truth to this? And will Ivanka ever come out and speak up? Will Ivanka ever begin the repair work of her family legacy? Well, I don't want to accuse anybody of anything like that.
Yeah, it's hearsay.
It's hearsay.
But he tells everybody, even people he assaulted, you remind me of my daughter. He's constantly saying that. And boy, they got a thing, a hard on for Biden, like he's some sort of pervert. The real pervert is him. But I go by the book that gentleman wrote. I think his last name was Schmidt, the one that was allowed in the White House, and he wrote that first book. And he said at that time, he was in The Apprentice, in the fabric of it. And at the time, the guy from Kiss was on the show. And he said that guy from Kiss, whatever his name is, he said he was all over Ivanka just like a dog with his tongue wagging. And oh my God, Trump, she's gorgeous. Oh my God, I'd like to have a piece of that, you know, whatever, foul language. And Trump was like, yeah, huh? He didn't say, that's my daughter you're talking about. And he said, Ivanka swears like a sailor.
I just don't like Trump's general disregard for women, period. I'm not commenting on what did or didn't happen between he and his daughter because I don't want to go to.
I don't think they. I just think he made her feel uncomfortable at times, but I also think she used it to get what she wanted.
I don't think anything like that happened, but I think that, allowing somebody to make inappropriate comments about one's daughter, I wouldn't tolerate that for 1 nanosecond.
Yeah.
Zero. I mean, if
Yeah.
somebody made an appropriate comment like that, inappropriate comment, I'm sorry about my niece, I'd bitch smack their ass in the middle of next week. Pardon
You
my
take off your flip flop and boom, boom.
Oh, honey, it'd be more than a flip flop. It'd be a stiletto.
But there was some videos on YouTube. It's so funny. They show these mothers, and Mexican women do this too. They take off their shoe and beat the bloody crap out of you.
Oh, I remember when I was a kid, Mom used to take her flip flop off and
Yeah.
whack with
Yeah.
it. Actually, it didn't hurt so bad. The switch was bad.
Or a belt.
Oh God, I'd rather have the flip flop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Flower Power wants to know, will Thomas or Alito get jail time?
No.
I don't see that.
But I want you to know, TikTok, Jack Smith is on Jenny Thomas now. She's part of his focus on being involved in the January 6th and helping to finance it. So remember what we said, when she starts to go down. See, Thomas would like to retire. If Trump got back in office, Thomas would probably retire, or at least before Trump left office again, which is not going to happen. But Thomas can't retire because he's nervous about Biden getting in for a second term, but he's going to be forced to because he's worried about Jenny.
There's going to be a lot coming out more about Clarence Thomas as well. And I don't know, if he'll be forced to resign or use health as an issue to resign, but I see him off the court. And you're right, he is waiting for the elections but if a Republican gets in, he figures, okay, they'll replace, whatever.
Someone like me. Now, what about Aloha?
I'm sorry?
What do you get on Aloha?
I see him gone as well.
But how long? Right along with Thomas, or a little couple?
I see Thomas gone first. And then I think after that, Alito. But I also see at some point Kavanaugh off the court.
That's what I saw, because years ago, my guide showed me them. He was already seated at the Supreme Court because people were begging me to tell them, please say he won't get in. And I saw him getting in, and he's seated, and they grab his shoulder and say, come with us.
Well, at some point, years in the future, I see Trump's presidency overturned, but it's going to take. It's going to take a long time. But
he'll already be gone.
Correct. By that time, there will be more justices on the court.
And I see Justice Roberts not doing well either.
I see a lot of the legislation coming down the pike that will prevent these justices from getting money from people that have in corporations or heads of corporations that have cases in front of the court. And the court is supposed to be non-political, but it's pretty obvious how political they are.
Well, when Biden gets back in and we get our amount of people with the Congress, that's when the rules can be changed. Because right now you can't do anything with Jim Jordan sitting there.
No, but I see more justices on the court, and I see at least 2 or 3.
See, now, he said he wouldn't do it. Biden said he wouldn't do it. Well, but everybody's saying he should. Everybody, his own people are saying you need to pass. He might in the second season say, yeah.
Well, I see 2 or 3 people leaving the court.
Okay.
And so I see the court changing, but like affirmative action, I see that being upheld again. I see Roe v. Wade being upheld again. And a lot of LGBTQ and women's rights codified as well.
Yeah.
So, all right. All right. Hi, Mel and Linda. Are the contributions made to Trump actually dark money that has been laundered, or is it all coming from his grassroots supporters?
His grassroots supporters are giving him a lot. The dark money, even the Koch brothers. Well, there's only one brother now. They're not giving money to him.
No. I think it's supporters because they buy his crap about, I need it for this and I need it for that, and he uses it for something else.
Yeah.
And I see my psychic light bulb just went on where Jack Smith and others are gonna investigate Trump for misappropriation of funds.
Oh, they're gonna get him on that too.
They will get them on that.
And even Trump mentioned on his Truth Social, come to think of it, I've never seen Biden with a hat. He didn't sell hat. Well, Biden doesn't go to China and get a bunch of hats and sell them.
No. I mean, he used that money he raised for some kind of defense for his, I forgot what it was, but he used it for things he shouldn't have used it for. And all that's going to come to the surface.
Oh, listen, they lied about that children's fund they were doing, and they stole from that. They steal from it. They're like gypsies, you know? When I had a pack of gypsies, not that gypsies are bad, but at a hospital in L&D, we had a patient who was a gypsy. And in fact, I had a brand new magazine that I had at the nurses station that got picked up, stolen. When they left, they had bags of towels and the gowns and the phones and even the, you know, the things you have for that, but you can't plug those in anywhere else. They're only good for the hospital. They were leaving with bags of stuff. We called the sheriffs and they stopped them. That was just ridiculous.
Well, let's see. Okay, here we go. Will Jack Smith also indict Donald Trump in New Jersey? Jack Smith can only indict federally, I think. The states have to indict state by state.
Yeah.
Maybe the question is, will they find something Trump did in New Jersey that's indictable federally? The answer is yes.
Okay.
That's what I see. Okay. Margot Howard, I think, says, love and nonstop prayers from Mel and Linda. Thank you for the years of accompanying us. Linda mentioned Chelsea Clinton as a future president. Ooh, yay. I read it, you know, my light bulb just went yes to that.
Yeah. She might be in her 50s, but I might not be alive, but she is an orator. She's like her mom. She's really smart.
It's going to be amazing. It said, I read a book in 1991 that predicted she would be our first woman president. Can you tell us what you feel?
Whoa.
You know, I thought about it, but my guides tell me she will be president at some point.
Wow. I don't know about first woman because I have a strong feeling Kamala will take over Biden's. Like Biden will hang in there for a couple of years and then not that he'll die, but I see that she has to take over.
I don't think she'll be the first woman president, but I do see her as president one of these days.
So she won't take over Biden?
No, I'm talking about Clinton, Chelsea Clinton.
No, oh, I'm talking about Kamala.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I just said I was saying that Chelsea Clinton wouldn't be the first woman president.
Yeah, that's what
But I keep telling you, at some point, Wes Moore, that governor of Maryland, I see him as president. He'd be another Obama. He'd be really good.
Cool.
Okay. Issy 4444. Hi, Lynn and Mel. I'd like to know if you see a hurricane come to Northwest Florida, Alabama area this year. Thank you, Mel. I'm continuing prayers. Well, thank you. I do see some hurricanes hitting that area, but I see some whipping off on the up from the Gulf side, which are more ferocious. And you know, you see an increase in tornadoes.
We already are.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. And more ferocious storms. You know, a lot of rain out west, which has been drought. A lot of flooding.
Oh, this morning it was my patio furniture was wet.
There you go. So
either that or I pissed my pants last
night. Maybe it was more of that. Okay. Dawn, I can't pronounce it. Dawn Gletus, I think. Prayers for a successful Operation Speedy Recovery, Mel. Is the healthcare situation in Canada with long emergency room wait times, access to family doctors, and wait times for operations going to improve in the near future? I hear yes.
I hear yes too. Maybe a few years, but you know, there's a price to pay. I had a boyfriend in Scotland for universal kind of care, because that even to get a dentist appointment, it's really tough.
I've heard.
I don't know if in the UK or in Canada you can pay out of your own pocket to be seen earlier. I don't know.
A lot of countries in Europe, you can have private healthcare insurance, which probably costs you maybe a couple thousand a year.
Oh, I would do that.
Which means that like you can just get through the system quicker.
Yeah.
But I know they have something like that in Germany. I've got the hiccups, I'm sorry. I know they have something like that in Germany. So yes, they do have private healthcare, but it's very, very inexpensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they pay high taxes though.
That's why they pay high taxes, but they get a lot more bang for their buck.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
Right.
you won't be devastated. God forbid something happens to you.
Right.
They won't take your home and stuff.
Correct. I mean, it's
This guy was talking on Twitter about, it's up to parents to collect money for kids to have a college. What happened to those days? And I said, well, those days were in the 50s and 60s. I said, now families are losing their homes from bad banking and cheating and stock markets crashing. And God forbid you get sick, you're ruined.
In those days, it was like more like people could afford to put money aside for college, and now they can't.
No.
But I do see the economy getting better. Yeah, I'm getting hospital bills already, and you know what?
Yep.
I paid a bunch of them, but you know what? If they get to be too much, I'll pay them as I go, or I'll just go on a payment plan. I'm not going to worry about that.
Yeah, my nephew, little Asa, he's so cute. I saw a picture. A lot of his hair is growing now. You can see the mark though where they cut the skull, but $1.3 million, and those were good doctors, by the way. But fortunately, I think my niece and her husband both have insurance, so they'll pay just a little portion of that.
When I had triple bypass surgery, it'll be 11 years. 11 years in September. $500,000.
Yeah.
And that was 11 years ago. You know, the insurance paid the biggest chunk of it, thank goodness, as they will this, thank God. But still.
I know.
Anyway, okay. So Barb Mecca says, hi, Mel and Linda, have a sparkling 4th. Well, it's past the 4th, it's the 5th. But will California get a lot of rain this winter?
Yes.
Or will the drought return? What are your weather predictions for the Golden State? I don't think the drought's going to come back. What do you think, Linda?
Oh, we're going to have a drought again, but it's years down the road. I see an earthquake coming.
So do I.
Going to rough things up.
By the way, I want to say thank you to Sterling too for looking into all of that.
In fact, somebody wrote me and said Sterling said there was going to be a big earthquake in San Francisco in July.
That's what reminded me of Sterling when you said that, because
she said, what about you and Kevin and Mel? Well, ours isn't until September.
Timing's hard, but
right.
All right. Somebody's asking, Ron Brock is asking about if the reactor's blown up, what about a radioactive cloud? Well, if it's blown up, it'd be a radioactive cloud that would go all over Europe.
Yeah, I don't see, I would tell you if I felt that because I don't trust Putin at all, but I'm almost feeling like he's being stopped.
Okay, some of these are old. Crazy Shark said she's going to take her kids to a 4th of July parade, and she's worried about mass shootings. Thank God none happened that I know of.
So. Oh, well, the night before, it was a huge shooting in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
It's terrible. There was all kinds of shootings. That's the thing we got to worry about is all kinds of shootings.
That's what's frightening to me. Okay. Hello, Mel and Linda from the Ozarks. Do you see the Canadian fires ending soon? The answer to that is yes, I do. Yeah,
I think Sterling said 6 months. Somebody said Lilac is saying that there's some that are purposely being started. The same thing happened here when we started with the Armageddon. People will go out and purposely start more fires.
Wow. Then I don't get. But I don't know. I see the number 6. I don't know if it's 6 months, it could be 6 weeks, but I do see them starting to get significantly better.
Yeah.
So, all right. Abby Joliak, I think. Will President Biden be able to appoint a Supreme Court justice this year? I'm not seeing it this year.
I see Thomas is the next one.
So do I.
It might not be till 24.
Okay. Angie Ortiz, this is a good one. Do you see student loan forgiveness going anywhere? That's another thing when the Supreme Court overturned Biden's student loan forgiveness. I see at some point another lawsuit with a different court and them saying that these banks can't charge so much interest and price gouge. And I do see some student loan forgiveness at some point.
Yeah. A lot of people already had their student loans forgiven.
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Okay. Marilyn Casabuena says, sending positive energy to you and Linda. Do you guys think that BRINCS, which I do not know what that is, currency is a challenge to the US dollar? I don't see it as a challenge to the US dollar, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what kind of currency it is, but anyway. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. Skip Bird says, why didn't they know the website case was a fake one before they even accepted it? Or did the Scandalous 6 already know that?
And guess who's the one that started that? Josh Hawley's wife.
Right. But it wasn't real. It was just something they made up.
The guy they talked about is married. He's a heterosexual and he's a website designer. He wouldn't even gone there.
Correct.
So it was all based on a fraud.
And so if it's based on fraud, then what happens? That's my question.
Well, they're gonna do something to the attorneys, but they have to go back to somebody else has to bring another case in and fight this. That's just like all these things they've turned over. They're going to be turned around, but someone comes with a different case.
Well, there should be some accountability for bringing a fraudulent case before the Supreme Court. So
yes,
that just,
there is, but it's with the attorneys that brought it forward.
Well, that just tells me how well they check it out. But
they don't. They expect you to be. And 7 years of going through courts.
Well, my feeling is at some point there'll be another case, you're right, brought to a new court, and they're going to say, wait a minute. You can't, if you're serving the public, you have to serve the public, because that opens the door for me to say, well, I don't want to wait on you because you're a Democrat or because you're an independent.
Or you're wearing a Mago hat.
All right, exactly. So, okay. Elizabeth wants to know, will Houston, Texas get a hurricane this year?
No.
I don't see that. I see it, maybe some heavy storms with a lot of rain, but I'm not seeing a hurricane. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This is a little bit different. Patricia McDonald says, my brother has Alzheimer's. I'm so sorry. That's a horrible disease. I live across the country from him. He's no longer able to talk by phone. Is it possible to communicate with him on a soul level to let him know he's loved?
Absolutely.
I'm picking up he already knows that on a soul level.
On a soul level. Absolutely.
All right. Jamie Pryor, I think. Hello, beautiful, majestic friends. Love, love, love to you both. Why did the person try to blow up those 3 buildings in DC? I believe 2 were detonated and 1 was a Molotov bomb thingy. Is it connected to the Supreme Court or to the Republicans or a hate crime? I didn't know anybody tried to blow up buildings.
I didn't either. I don't know what that. I know that Trump released Obama's home address, and some cray-cray went in there and was getting ready to kill him and his wife. Wow. They arrested him, but Trump released it. And Trump keeps talking about, we got to get rid of Jack Smith. Someone needs to take him out, and they don't go arrest him and put him in jail.
Well, I think at some point you can't. Well, it's funny how the Republicans want to squelch our freedom of speech, but yet it's okay for them to say what they want to say. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
Democrats right now.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's see here. Well, this is a question we just answered. Catherine Lakowski says, will the SCOTUS decision in favor for the website designer be reversed? Well, there was no website designer. It was all made up.
Yeah, it will be reversed though.
I see it reversed as well. All right. Somebody says, are your sole contracts set in stone, or are you allowed to change things up? My feeling is we have free choice. All right. Moxie, oh, I love this name, Moxie Cha-Cha. Ooh. That's like bodacious tatas.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. This is good. What messages do the founding fathers and mothers, Abigail Adams, Martha Washington, for example, have for us? Well, they're telling me our democracy will prevail.
That's what I heard too.
I know you're going to do a show on it later on, so I won't.
Yeah, I'm going to do a show on it, you guys.
Okay. Tina in Mexico says, hola to you both. Hola. That means hello. When Biden was running for president, he said everyone on Social Security would get a $200 a month raise. Do you see this happening?
Well, we got an 8% raise.
I still see a significant raise coming.
You see another one coming?
I do. Okay. All right. Let's see here. 129 OLI says, how successful will Biden be with his student debt plan B? Do you see Supreme Court replacements this year? I don't see it this year.
Next year.
Next year. Well, the student debt plan, I see will be successful at some point.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay, let's see. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has announced his run for president. Do you see him being a threat to Joe Biden in 2024? No.
Nope.
I think he's too much anti-vaccination, and that's going to come out to bite him.
No, and also he's in the hands of the Republicans.
Right.
And he's with the worst of the worst too.
Exactly.
No.
So, okay. It says, hi, Mel. Hi, Lynn and Mel. Can you tell us what you foresee about Melania Trump's telephone and emails investigations?
Melania?
Melania.
Or,
I think they meant Melania.
see about what?
Melania. It says, can you tell us what you foresee about Melania Trump's telephones and email investigations? Although I think they're listening to her emails or something, aren't they? I
don't know. She's not in trouble like him.
No, she's not in trouble. They just want to find out what was discussed. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Somebody says I didn't show up. I could have told them. I did tell everybody. I put it on my page. Okay. Okay. People are asking about the latest SCOTUS rulings. All right. I'm looking. All right. Okay, here we go. Can you look at the new money currency that China and Saudi are trying to push over US dollars? Will it be successful? 41 countries are thinking to join. I'm not worried about it.
I heard no.
I'm not worried about it. I mean,
and they won't get as strong as the dollar. That's what I heard. I
mean, it didn't hurt the dollar that much when they had the euro. I mean, yeah. It goes up and down, but I don't think so.
Well, the dollar's worth more now. When I went to Edinburgh in 1999, the exchange with the sterling was $1.67. And now you can go, the sterling's $1.20. I think the euro is $1.06.
It used to be, I remember the first time we went to Europe, it was $1.50 American for €1. Then it kept coming down. When we were in Croatia last summer, it was equal. And now I think it's €1.06 for $1. So the dollar lost a little value, but not much.
Yeah.
It fluctuates, but I don't see any huge fluctuations.
Exactly.
Okay. This is good. Ro Cardi says, hi, Mel, many blessings to you. Linda, you're a kick in the pants. Yay, love your videos. Hope you can answer this. Well, this is a personal question. It says, will my husband and I be able to buy a new home soon, preferably closer to the West Coast? I do see a new home coming within the next 1.5 to 2 years.
I felt 2 years.
All right, we got time for just a few more here. Mima, 1952. So DeSatan wants to use radioactive waste in Florida's roads. That's true, he does. Will they find anyone dumb enough to actually work with these deadly materials? I see there's going to be such an outcry about that it'll get stopped. I see a lawsuit and a judge saying, no, you cannot use hazardous materials to pave roads.
He's going to lose the presidency, the run for presidency.
Oh,
And he's going to go down hard. I don't know what exactly, but I felt like a thud. Not that he's going to be hurt. I'm just saying that he's a nothing burger.
well, she says they've scared off all the immigrants. Who's left for them to kill slowly? I mean,
yeah.
We've talked about this. You don't mess with Mickey Mouse. And the fact that he picked on Disney is
and he tried to make them stop the Disney was suing him. And he tried to act like he had special privilege. Same thing Trump does. And they said, yeah.
Yeah, right. The Italian thing like this.
Yeah, privilege this, sucker.
Exactly. Okay. 1567306. Hi, Duo. If more than one psychic calls for the same spirit at the same time, will it appear to all of them or choose only one? No, spirit can be everywhere and appear to numerous people or talk to numerous people at the same time.
Right.
That's my answer.
Right.
Okay. This is good. Mama Pemberton or Pemberton. Hi, Mama. Mara. I'm sorry, it's Mara. I thought it said Mama. Hi, Auntie Mel and bodacious Linda. Ooh. The war on the poor and cutting taxes for the rich started when Ronald Reagan became president of the United States. Are American people going to start pushing back against having the U.S. be run by 1%ers and corporations who drive on the same roads and freeways and highways we all do?
Yeah.
I think Americans are going to start speaking up, huh?
Oh, it's our Gen Z. They're going to take care of things.
Exactly.
Well, it's like Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake.
Right.
People are going to get real pissed off about the haves not helping out the haves not.
Well, and she says we
pay less taxes. Actually, was it Warren Buffett said that his secretary and his housekeeper pay more in taxes than he does.
Right.
There's something wrong with that picture.
And then she says that, I agree. She says, we want clean water, we need EMT rescue, etc. So I do see at some point, American people, the working class pushing back and say, we're not going to carry everything on our backs any longer.
Exactly.
We've got one more and we've answered them all.
Okay.
And I think we've talked about this, but Klebanov says, the Supreme Court denied Biden student loan forgiveness. Will Biden pass the bill in 2024 to forgive student loans and lower interest rates? I don't know if it's 2024, but
the Supreme Court stopped it, right? So he needs to go over. That's the hard part, is going over the Supreme Court. They're going to come up with something with that interest rate. Then I see them presenting it again to the Supreme Court. But it's going to be with a better Supreme Court.
I agree. And I see interest rates being lowered, and I see that there's some forgiveness that I see coming for student loans because it's price gouging. That's what's going on.
Exactly.
Anyway, Linda, well, next Monday, I'll probably still be in the hospital.
Okay.
But
I'll keep everybody informed.
I'll be texting you because I probably won't be able to talk. I went today and I bought Ensure, like strawberry and chocolate.
Oh, do you have to do Ensure?
Well, I can do ice cream and probably mashed potatoes. So tomorrow, you know what? I'll go to the grocery.
Ensure sucks.
I know.
There's other things out there that are much better tasting.
I'll put some vanilla ice cream in there.
You probably won't be able to taste that well anyway.
Oh, I don't know, but I'm nervous about the surgery, the pain, but hey, I've had pain before, so I'll get through it.
Yeah. And who's going to let us know? Is your husband going to call me or text me?
Well, what I'll do is I'll be too groggy, but I want to give him your number and have him call you or text you. So,
Okay,
no,
okay. So what about that $10 million life insurance policy he took out on you? Does that make you nervous?
that's only if my ass gets creamed on a bus on a snowstorm on the planet Venus.
I should have taken out a life. No, I'm just kidding. All right, sweetie.
All right,
So let us know. So Friday's a day.
Friday.
Okay, I got to do some major prayers for you.
Thank you. And then maybe in 2 weeks, I don't know, possibly if I'm able to talk, I might be like this, but we'll check it out.
We'll check it out. Don't forget what I said about my mom had to have surgery for her neck because the ball on the top of her neck was weak and they had to take a bone and put it in there, intubate her and everything. Long story short, she had a hard time swallowing post-surgery. So she would just suck on those seized lollipops.
I'll do what I
Just
gotta
suck
do.
on them and it helped her start to be able to swallow.
I'll do what I gotta do.
I probably should send you some seized lollipops because they're delish.
There you go. All right, I'll take them. I'll take
Okay.
it. All right,
All
sweetie.
right. Love you.
Love you too. Bye bye.